Now to quickly set up the presets for everything. This is a huge step. I should do a video completely on this one thing where you select everything, and at the top of the node view there is this button here, set properties on many layers. Press that and all of this comes up. This is the magic recipe, which I'll explain another time. Separate mode, parent peg, animate using animation tools off, composite mode pass through. All of those get changed and then bang. That is the make life a lot easier button, which I will keep mysterious for now because I have more rigging to do. The first one, 3D path and separate mode, is the two different options for tweens within Harmony. By clicking on one, here in layer properties, on transformation, there is position, and you see there's two checkboxes, 3D path and separate. By default, in the program, drawing layers are set to separates and pegs are set to 3D path. In a nutshell, a separate calculates the X, Y, and Z coordinates as three different animated tweens, whereas the 3D path sort of calculates it as one great big number. They both have their place. 3D paths can be more powerful, but they are also more troublesome. So most of the time, it is preferred to always be in separate. This can be amended by going to Edit, Preferences, and activate Default Separate Position for pegs. Then you just don't really need to worry about it, and in the rare occasion where you deliberately want to work with 3D paths, you can turn it on. It's a very deep topic, and if you want to learn more about that, I have a video called Everything You Need to Know About Parameters and Functions in Harmony. It's probably my single most overlooked video. It's over an hour long. I put a ton of work into it. It's essentially an entire course. And unfortunately, it sort of just slipped under the radar. Use embedded pivot. This is all about the relationship between the drawing and the peg. They can both have their own independent pivots, after all, and things can get confusing. By having it set to parent peg, it's just given a degree of authority. Like right now, on the head and neck, I haven't really done much deliberate with them, so you can see the neck one is bang in the middle, the head one is like a little bit above it. Let's like put it here, okay? So it's like, it's super obvious. And then the peg is down here, which is sort of where I want it to be. And that's confusing, right? But if on all three, it's set to parent peg, then it just stops being a question. All three of them share the same one. Next is animate using animation tools off. Now, this one's probably a bit more self-explanatory from the first time I positioned that demo arm, right? With your standard transformation tool, clicking on layers selects the drawing and puts keyframes on them. And it gets messy, it's considered a no-no. So it has an option under the controls tab to be able to turn it off. And you'll notice then that all of the keyframe buttons and easing tools are just grayed out. It's completely inaccessible. Can't do it. No mistakes can be made. So the order from before is important because now that animate using animation tools is off, there is a keyframe here and I can't delete it. So I have to turn it back on in order to get rid of it. And then I'm good. Finally, composite mode set to pass through. This one's a little bit different because it's not to do with deformers, but it is very important in rigging in general. This is another one that can be set in preferences as a default in the general tab to default pass through composite. It changes all of your composites from looking like this to looking like this. And as simply as possible, it helps with Z-space. A bitmap flattens everything that goes into it into a single layer. So if you have one image that's way out in front and it's registered as a bitmap, by the time it gets to the camera, it's going to read everything as being way out in front. So pass-throughs, like 99% of the time, are just way easier to think about. Every individual layer in three-dimensional space is going to be sitting where you left it and not dictating where anything else goes. Thanks for watching. Consider following my Twitter for upcoming stream times and topics. Hey, maybe your question or suggestion or whatever will become a video topic of its own, like this one. Previous unedited full streams, as well as any relevant working files if there happens to be any, are available to my lovely patrons. Links for all that stuff and that are in the description. Yay! Okay, bye.